I'm Alli Vasquez, and this is my story. I didn't become a Christ follower until I was 23 years old, so I lived just a life of selfishness, just making a lot of immoral decisions, really trying to fill the hole in my heart with approval of others and validation from others, and a lot of worldly things, and I was just left with an emptiness and a space that I just continuously tried to fill the void, and it left me in a dark place. And there was some depression, and it led to some eating disorders and just a lot of darkness. So I have a friend from Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago. I was sitting and having a conversation with her, and she kept mentioning this Jesus. And finally I said, "What's a Jesus? What is a Jesus?" That's the first time I'm hearing Jesus. And she was like, "Let me show you the way." So she took me under her wing, and then I would meet with another woman who would become my spiritual mama. And we would just start doing life together and digging into the Bible together. And ultimately it was between the two of them that I found Christ, and I became a Christ follower. When I was 23 years old, my prayer life very much looked like adoration. So I would just read scripturally, just go to the book of Psalms and just pray those scriptures. And it looked a lot different then than it does now. Now it's a constant conversation with God. In between that time, through the years, I realized, gosh, this is more about a relationship with God and just deepening that intimacy with the one who writes my story. And for years and years, I would spend in the early morning, just digging into my Bible, reading a spiritual growth book. I'm very passionate about writing in a prayer journal. I love writing down when God answers those prayers, though it's not always the way we want it answered, but He answers them. But going back and reading through those prayer journals and really connecting the dots, just seeing the way that God is just weaving together story after story, making this just beautiful tapestry of life. Even though I couldn't see it when I was walking through some of the harder, darker seasons, looking back in my prayer journal on how He answered those prayers is just really amazing, because it really does work out for the greater good. To fast forward to now, and my prayer life now really was just kind of radically changed when we had our son. So he is 3.5 years old right now, and now it's a constant conversation. At about 1.5 years, Colton was displaying some behaviors that were red flags, and he was developmentally delayed. And we have family who is in early childhood education, and thankful for them lovingly saying, "Hey, you might want to get him evaluated." Autism wasn't on our radar at all, but we in fact did lean into the Lord and press into the Lord. A lot of people had a lot of opinions about him, saying, "He's fine, he's gonna be amazing, he's too young, how can anybody tell, it's just a phase." But we really went to the Lord and said, "Hey, Lord, direct our path. What do you want us to do?" And in fact, we would have him evaluated, and he would indeed be on the spectrum. And it was in that moment that my prayer life shifted again. And I just remember, I wish I could say, I was like, "Oh Lord, thank you for this hard circumstance, and thank you for all the hard days and the long and drawn out decisions that we'd have to make." But it wasn't like that. I just remember where I was and just falling to my knees and falling to my face, just completely broken, and really crying out to the Lord, and just bringing the how and the why and the what now. And is He ever going to talk? Is He ever going to communicate? Is He going to freak out whenever we go new places? And all of these things, I'm just crying out to the Lord. And I look back on it and I'm like, gosh, I was flooded with everywhere in the Bible that it's, hear the cry of my heart, O Lord. And I'm crying out to you, God, O Lord, my God. And there I was living it out. And I realized my prayer life prior to that was very much bringing my best self to God. I'm just a naturally positive, optimistic person, and not that that's wrong, but it wasn't until this moment that I was crying, and I realized that the Lord meets us right where we are, in that messiness and in that brokenness and in the questions and the doubt and the confusion and the anger and all those feelings that I had surfacing. The Lord met me there. And it's there that I felt the Spirit just impress upon my heart as I'm praying so deeply. I just remember him saying, get up and look at me. Like, I know the plans I have for your son. I just need you to keep your eyes fixed on me. Some days I'm gonna ask you to go and I'm gonna fight through you. Some days I'm gonna ask you to be still and I'm gonna fight for you, but you just go. And that was it. My prayer life changed. It was pray without ceasing, seek my face always, and draw near to me, I'll draw near to you. And so long as I have breath, I will pray. That was it. That my prayer life just came to life, and it was really this constant conversation with the Lord, driving, doing laundry, running, cooking, like whatever it is, just talking to God.